Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to NPR, U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth lashed out at European allies during a meeting in Brussels, announcing a 6-month Pentagon review of American military forces in Europe. Hegseth emphasized that the future presence of U.S. troops will depend on how quickly European nations assume primary responsibility for their own security. He sharply criticized European allies for failing to grant the U.S. military base access to launch operations against Iran, describing their actions as shameful, and complained that European nations have prioritized progressive policies and social spending over defense. To address these issues, the Trump administration is seeking a reboot of the alliance, proposing a modernized NATO 3.0 capable of addressing global threats, particularly in the Indo-Pacific. While NATO allies have recently increased defense spending, the U.S. has already scaled back military support plans, stating it will no longer guarantee certain naval and air assets during a crisis. However, the U.S. nuclear deterrent remains intact, as reinforced by NATO's Nuclear Planning Group in its first joint statement in nearly 2 decades. According to JJ Press, Japan's benchmark Nikkei 225 stock average closed above the 71,000 mark for the first time on Thursday, extending its record-breaking rally to a 4th consecutive session. The index surged 1,151.214 points, or 1.64%, from the previous day to finish at 71,053.49. The broader Topix index also reached a fresh record closing high, climbing 54.95 points, or 1.37% to 4,068.18. Market analysts attributed the sharp rise to growing relief among investors regarding geopolitical tensions in the Middle East. This optimism followed news reports that U.S. President Donald Trump and Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian had signed a memorandum of understanding to end military conflicts between their nations. Additionally, risk appetite was boosted by strong overnight gains in the U.S. SOX Philadelphia Semiconductor Index. This led to active buying of artificial intelligence and semiconductor-related stocks in Tokyo, with memory chip maker Kioxia Holdings drawing significant investor attention. According to a report by Liberty Times, Denmark has announced the deployment of a battalion-sized force of 850 troops to Latvia, a fellow NATO member, in an effort to strengthen deterrence against Russia. Danish Defense Minister Jeppe Bruus made the announcement on June 17, 2026, following a closed-door briefing to Parliament. These Danish troops will replace the Swedish forces currently stationed in the region. Minister Bruus emphasized that contributing to the deterrence of Russia is vital given current security developments. This decision comes at a time when European nations are increasingly striving for military and security self-reliance. This shift is driven by the ongoing threat from Russia since the outbreak of the war in Ukraine, as well as friction between U.S. President Donald Trump and European allies over defense commitments. Recent reports indicate that the U.S. plans to reduce its military presence in Europe, including withdrawing one of its 2 aircraft carrier strike groups assigned to NATO, pulling back Tomahawk-capable submarines, and cutting down on patrol and fighter aircraft, alongside a planned withdrawal of 5,000 U.S. troops from Germany. According to a report by Liberty Times, the Finnish Security Intelligence Service SU has warned of a significant national security loophole that could allow Russia and China to bypass international sanctions. Due to current restrictions, advanced artificial intelligence chips cannot be exported to China, and Russia remains cut off from such technologies. However, intelligence officials warn that these countries could circumvent these bans by investing in data centers within Finland and remotely utilizing the advanced computing power from abroad. The primary issue lies in Finland's regulatory gaps. While foreign acquisitions of local companies and land purchases undergo security reviews, simply leasing land to build data centers allows investors to bypass national security screening entirely. Additionally, intelligence experts raised concerns about data leakage risks to authoritarian governments and potential municipal heating disruptions if waste heat recovery systems are shut down due to sanctions. In response, Finland is drafting a new investment permit law set to take effect in spring 2027. The law will mandate security reviews for large data. According to a report by Taiwan, U.S. President Donald Trump announced on his social media platform, Truth Social, that Apple has agreed to partner with Intel to design and manufacture chips within the United States. In his post, Trump criticized past administrations for allowing Taiwan and other nations to steal America's semiconductor factories by failing to protect domestic industries with tariffs. He emphasized his commitment to bringing the semiconductor industry back to the U.S., claiming that the government facilitated partnerships between Intel and tech giants, including NVIDIA, Elon Musk, and now Apple, in exchange for a 10% equity stake in Intel. Trump highlighted that Intel's market value subsequently surged from $100 billion to over $600 billion within 9 months. Last month, the Wall Street Journal reported a preliminary agreement between Intel and Apple, and Intel recently began production on its advanced 18AP node, positioning itself as a potential alternative to TSMC's packaging bottlenecks. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.